Here we go.
Hey everybody, bit of something different today. So the trailer for Mystery of the Seven Keys came out.
Woohoo!
Yeah, we looked at it a while ago. We've been very busy lately.
You sound so sad.
Do I?
Yeah.
I don't know why.
You sound so glum.
Oh, I think I'm just trying to be professional.
Oh. Okay.
I don't know. Well, it's not like an admonition. I'm wondering if it's just like me trying to go like, hey, YouTube. I wonder if that's just making me sound sadder than normal. I don't know.
You sounded very professional.
I'm not sad.
But like a professional that was about to like fire me.
Yeah, that's not what I'm going for. Yeah, we did see the trailer. We weren't able to watch it
Together. Yeah, because I was at work. You were at work.
Yeah, so it was a thing. I think you initially watched it like without sound.
I
Like,
did.
It was, Yeah. So,
And then I watched it with very low sound later.
And so if you don't know, we've been working our way through the Nancy Drew games in order. Avery grew up with them and knows them back and forth. I remember playing some bits of them when I was growing up, but I can't remember which ones.
I wish we could remember which ones you played.
And it's been a long time. Yeah. So we've been like playing through them in order just to see like how the series grew. And at this point, we have played through. We've been recording it and uploading it. We started with Midnight in Salem.
Right.
Just as
because I was having a really bad week, and this was before we decided that we were going to play them all in order. So I was just having a bad week. This was months ago, and I was like, I need to laugh, so I'm going to ask Chris to play Midnight in Salem.
Yeah.
And then we decided to go back and start playing them all again from the beginning.
Yeah. So we started with Secrets Can Kill and all that. We literally ordered physical copies of Secrets Can Kill and Stay Tuned for Danger. Mm-hmm. Played through those. At this point, although we haven't uploaded everything we've played, we have played through the first 6 games. We just played through Scarlet Hand.
Yeah.
And so, we've been talking about it. We think what we're going to do is we're going to just play Mystery of the Seven Keys. Like
when it comes out.
When it comes out, because, which is in 2 days as of recording this, because they revealed the release date and it's much earlier than we expected. But it's the first new game that's dropping since we've been together. And it's going to be the first time getting to like experience a game
for the first time together.
That you don't know, yeah.
Yeah. I might want to play that one, actually. I might want to be the player for that one.
I'd be down for that.
Because I watch you play all of them, but I might actually want to switch roles for that.
I'd be super down for that.
Or we can alternate.
That'd be really interesting. Yeah, because we've been... I don't know. I'm very curious to see what it is. So we're going to take like a detour and just play that. And then I think when we get through the rest of the games up to that point, we will play Salem and Seven Keys again at the end of like the playthrough series we're doing. Yeah, just to see them like in context of like how the series has grown and evolved over time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, we wanted to hop on here and watch the trailer. How are we going to do this? Are we going to let the trailer run, or are we going to comment and pause kind of as it? That's probably the way to do it, is to comment and like pause it when we need to comment on something.
Yeah, I think pausing it when we think of something is the most fair way to do it and more entertaining way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Should we just jump in?
Let's let it rip. Are we going to click the space bar to pause it?
That's okay. You can do spacebar or K, or it's going to be easier for you to use the spacebar.
Yeah.
Because you're far from the mouse.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll just do that.
Okay.
All right, awesome.
Here we go.
Rated E10 for
mild violence.
Very calm violins.
Here in the beautiful city of Prague.
Wait, okay, I already want to go back.
Here in the beautiful city of Prague.
It does look...
This does look above... I'm going to load it. I'm going to make sure we're loading it in highest quality.
Yeah. Okay, so there's some people... So it looks like we've got the same thing happening, as in Salem, where it looks like we have little peoples on the ground kind of populating the town.
Yeah, I'm wondering if this is going to be like a screen we see in-game or if it's just a pre-rendered cutscene.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what Prague looks like, so I can't speak to the accuracy of it. It does look more fleshed out. That like Salem in Midnight in Salem looked like a Sims town. It looked very kind of... Things didn't have a lot of texture. Walls were just kind of blank walls. This does... Do the flags move? Is there any wind? Or are the flags just not really?
The flags look stationary. Yeah, there's you look at the window panes, like if you look closely at the window panes, you see like, oh, that's actually a very simple texture.
Yeah.
But I think when you're looking at it kind of from a distance, this does look like there is more going on
Yeah.
than we had in
It,
Salem.
it's not Sea of Darkness. It's still like just from the get-go isn't Sea of Darkness level at all. I also feel like there's something really weird happening with the perspective, right? Where it looks like the perspective looks off to me.
Oh, like with this, I'm wondering if this is just because what I'm assuming they did. I'm assuming that this is built out like realistically in a 3D program, and then they're moving the camera down. This is the camera that's happening. I'm assuming that this is all like in Unity, and then they're moving it. Like they made these cutscenes by moving a camera in Unity.
It looks to me like it's got some sort of fisheye effect on it a little bit. Like the sides on the left, it just doesn't look.
It's a curious, yeah.
It does look a little bit like weird, but I guess what we can say is generally it looks better than Salem.
Yes,
This first screen.
Yeah, I do think the environments are a bit better. They some kind of interesting things happening with the fog, and that the way that this is standing out so sharply against it is a little odd.
That whole build in general, like
Yeah.
there's something I can't, it's like kind of uncanny valley. I can't really put my finger on it, but just like the way that the lamp posts look in the distance versus the way that they look up close, just proportionally something looks weirdly off to me. But it does just remind me of kind of a fisheye effect. I'm not terribly bothered by it. It looks better than Salem.
Yeah, it's not top of the line graphics, but it's
better.
it's better than Salem.
This is better.
Yeah.
Okay.
There are mysteries so steeped in history
Again, looks fairly
they
good.
should be preserved for
So, what do you think is the deal with the
The cotton.
mothball? Yeah, the cotton on the ground. I was gonna
All the
say, like,
cotton?
I think it's supposed to be like a fog or haze, but it does.
Is it moving? Does it move?
all to
No.
remember.
Kind of a little
I
bit.
think it's pulsing slightly.
Pulsing cotton.
Preserved for all.
It's barely. I think it's slightly like
Very
moving.
tough to say.
It definitely doesn't look very real. I don't know.
No.
It's very stylized.
No, because you can also see like that right table there. It's like
Oh, yeah.
below the table.
Huh.
It does. It's not. But again, better than Salem, right? I would say
Yeah.
there's texture on the walls. There's stone on the walls, and that is an improvement. Everything in Salem, like to my memory, just really looked like it had no texture. So better.
Yeah, the what they're doing with the brick here.
Yeah.
It's actually interesting. They've got kind of like the brick exposed underneath. Like there's like something over. There's like something over it here, and there's patches where it's gone away, and you've got just the brick.
And that feels intentional. They didn't have to do that. They didn't have to
Yeah.
add that little detail.
That's
so
definitely an intentional thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay. All right, let's keep going.
All to remember.
That looks great.
Would use
Now,
Yeah. Yeah.
so I need. What is this guy saying? Also, can we go back and listen to what this sentence is, or get subtitles or something?
Oh, we can probably get subtitles. Let's see.
Because I remember just being really bothered by this first sentence.
mysteries so steeped in history. They should
I need.
be preserved for all to
Oh, okay. Let's go
remember.
back.
Okay, so now, now,
Yeah,
now
go back.
okay.
Give me the top. Give it
Just
to
do
me
the
from
whole
the
thing.
top.
Here in the beautiful city of Prague,
Okay.
there are mysteries so steeped in history. They should be preserved for all to remember.
Okay. Here in the beautiful city of Prague,
There
there
are-
are mysteries so steeped in history that they should be preserved for all. So I guess because they're so they're like
I guess that's odd because the mysteries makes it seem like it would be something that like people wouldn't know.
Yeah, that's what's bothering me. Yeah, yeah.
I don't.
Mystery so steeped in history. You don't preserve a mystery. That's a weird sentence.
I'm wondering if it's going to make sense in context, like when we actually get into the game. That is an odd concept. Now here's the thing.
Yes.
I don't think the character models look any better than Salem.
I don't either.
Like, and it's odd because I felt like when we got like those meet the character videos, I felt like those looked better than Salem. Then like seeing this, like that's rough.
That's a bad mustache. His eyes look dead. His arm, we're getting the same arm issues too that we had in Salem, where their arms look extremely thin. Mm-hmm. He's got like little saggy arms. I'm gonna call him little saggy arms. His hair looks really bad.
His hairline's rough.
It's not even like the hairline. I mean, the hairline is bad because it doesn't look like it attaches to his skin normally.
Yeah.
But also just the contrast between the hair and the wall.
And
There's
maybe-
more
maybe-
texture on the
maybe I-
face.
Yeah, maybe I need to pull up.
Salem. We
Somebody
can pull
from
it up
Salem.
after.
Yeah, but to me, like
It doesn't look
some of
good.
these character models I think look worse to me than
This
Salem.
also looks very similar to. Look at the hair.
Yeah.
And what's going on with the apartment? I don't know what's behind
I
him,
think
but
that's
like
supposed to be a wall. Again, I think it's the lack of anti-aliasing and perspective and depth. I think it's making this look like it's a corner when this
Yeah.
is supposed to be the edge. Like this building's supposed to be going behind it.
that's what I see. No, I see a building going behind, but again, proportions feel really weird here. Like that door feels way too low,
You know what it is,
and the wall has no texture.
You know what it is there's no like depth of field. Is what
Yeah.
it is. Like this stuff in the back isn't like blurrier than up here or anything. Like there's no
Yeah.
Everything is just in focus, which makes it very hard to.
And the part behind him looks better than Salem, and the part behind that, the blue stuff looks like Salem, or worse. Like it's what even is that wall? What's going on with the blue?
I'm gonna have to look at Salem after this, but I
Yeah.
feel like the character models might look worse than Salem. Is the odd thing.
Technology of
That
this
looks good.
modern world
Yeah.
That looks good. That looked good.
powers of the past for their own dark.
That looks terrible.
Black Market Chatter has been talking about
Okay, so can we go back and get this guy's other sentence then?
For their own world. But there are those who would use the technology of this modern world to manipulate the powers of the past for their own dark designs.
Black Market Chatter.
Okay, I find the writing really weird.
I'm wondering, and again, I'm wondering if it's going to make sense, if it is actually going to tie into what the mystery. Because we still just don't know much about what the mystery is, I guess.
There's
The powers of the
mysteries
past.
so steeped in history that they should be preserved for all to remember, but there are some that would use the technologies of today to do something. It's just
To manipulate the powers of the past for their own dark designs, which doesn't seem, and like that's being treated as a follow-up to the idea of the first sentence, which doesn't really feel. Because
What I'm getting is that there are. It feels like the general gist is there are historical things that should be left alone. But why not say that?
Well,
Why
it's
not
just
just say
like-
we should
it says
leave some
preserve.
things alone?
Is this preserved for all to remember, which doesn't feel like leaving it alone. Like it's just odd.
It's a confusing, very long-winded sentence that leaves me very unclear on what this guy's opinion is.
It sounds like it's trying very hard.
It sounds like it's
be
trying very hard
mysterious.
to be smart and like, what's a good word for it? Kind of
This is
ornamental.
This is also very funny that I
Yeah.
hadn't thought about. Prague Journal number 77. Newspapers don't.
Oh, we're not Pragian, so we don't know.
Is that what they do? They're like, this is newspaper number 46. Like, is that what they do?
Do they call it a rash of gem thefts?
Yeah, a rash of gem thefts is
That's a real thing.
That's a real thing.
Rash?
A rash is like a spree, basically.
Wow,
Or like a
okay.
sudden- yeah.
His
Yeah.
the police marked Michael something as a person of interest in a rash of gem thefts that have ravaged Prague. His nightmare began when evidence connected him to the scene of the crime of the latest theft.
His nightmare begin makes it sound like he's innocent.
Yeah, it does. The one caveat shouldn't have a
He was never
capital
at the
H
scene.
after the colon, but
Oh,
anyway, he was never at the scene. He canceled his
Wait, so they
appointment to
know
see
this?
the jewels the night before. Only the appointment on the jeweler's computer connected him. Wow, this person has a lot of info. His exoneration failed to stop rumors from circulating against him. Michael joins a growing list of suspects who have faced accusations and interrogation based on unfounded evidence. All right, well, whoever
Wait,
this
so
journalist is, they got the inside scoop.
So they know this? Yeah, that's odd.
Chatter has been talking about an upcoming big score in a matter of days.
Also, I'm not Pragian.
Oh, is he supposed to have a Prague accent too?
Black Market Chatter has been talking about an upcoming big score in
He just might actually have an African accent.
Okay, possibly. All
Like,
right, fair.
like he might just not actually be 'cause-
Fair. If he's supposed to be from Prague, that's pretty bad.
Yeah. Like listening to that, like I think that was actually supposed to be an
A
African
different accent. Okay,
Yeah.
a
fair.
matter of days.
And there is only one. Stop them.
Are you Nancy Drew?
She doesn't look terrible compared to the earlier.
She looks not good.
She doesn't look good. She doesn't look as bad as the
Her
two.
hair still looks really bad.
She doesn't look as bad as the two guys at the beginning, though.
I guess those clothes don't look like they're even laying on her body. And what is up with people's arms? Why can they not animate people's arms?
I know.
Why is every arm and every socket so tiny?
I mean, I can't do stuff in Unity, but then it's just, I don't know. Why go to Unity?
I am. Have a seat. I've been waiting for you.
Okay.
She looks okay.
She looks decent, yeah.
She looks all right.
The hair over the hairband is working pretty well.
Pause too. I like the music a lot.
Yes.
I like the music.
The music's pretty
I
simple.
like what they're doing. I liked it from the get-go.
In your letter, you explained what was stolen. In your letter, you explained what was stolen. It's
I know you don't like the voice.
I don't have an issue with the voice. I just don't know what's going on with the direction.
I guess that's the thing.
I
Like,
don't understand why words are coming out
I
the
do
way that they're
think-
coming out.
I do think her actual voice does make more sense,
Yeah, it's a
for
great
the-
voice.
for the age of the character.
She's a great sound.
but the way it's coming out is just odd. And it's again, I found out that this is the person who voices Ingrid in Fire Emblem, and
You like her.
now I hear that.
Yeah.
I liked Ingrid was one of the characters I liked more in Fire Emblem, and I thought her voice acting was very good there. But she was supposed to sound kind of stilted. She was supposed to sound like somebody who was
in your
very
letter, you explained
upright
what
and
was
trying
stolen.
to like maintain things.
It's like any possible operative word, any word that someone might need to pick up on, like the fact that it was your letter and that the action you did was to explain and that something was stolen. It just feels like any operative language is just being hit super, super hard. And it's just odd.
I think that just might be.
I wish it would stop. Because they didn't do that. They didn't feel like they didn't do that with Lonnie as much. She has some
as
weird
much.
deliveries,
There is some of it. I think that's just kind of the case when you have like a protagonist who needs to narrate and speak to herself and convey information to like a player. And I get that. There is something. It feels like it's definitely leaned into harder
yeah.
with these last two games.
Yeah.
At least from what I remember. Like I don't know. At least like in Final Scene, I felt like what Lonnie was doing still felt very real.
It feels real, and
Yeah.
these ones just they feel so stilted, and it's confusing because you've heard her voice other people and not have this issue. Like you really liked what you heard her do in other characters.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of weird, and it's weird too because it doesn't feel like anyone else is doing it. Deirdre doesn't do it. Ned's not doing it. Frank and Joe aren't doing it, and it's just this weird like.
Some of the voice acting in Salem was actually pretty.
Was
decent.
really good.
Yeah.
And I don't have an issue with her voice. I think she's a great voice for the character. Anyway, keep going. It's just a bugbear of
It was my
mine.
mother's necklace that has now been replaced with fake gems.
Was that Nancy or?
Yes.
Okay, hang
It
on.
was my mother's necklace that has now been replaced with fake gems.
That's not
Yeah,
the
it's
person who said
two.
it was necklace.
It's two different people, and it's a same issue that has now been replaced with fake gems.
Has now been replaced with fake
This
gems.
delivery.
It has gone too far.
That's not a terrible delivery.
No, it sounds
Like, yeah.
fine. It's everyone else sounds. Oh, I like the. Oh, what pause? I like
The reliefs on that.
I like that a lot.
That's a cool like little story.
And
thing.
this proportion looks better to me, and the people look.
I wonder. I wonder if the
normal.
stuff that looked off was just kind of unfortunate camera angles.
Maybe.
I do think. Well, you know what? This is actually the lack of depth of field actually works fine here because there's nothing in the foreground we're supposed to be focusing
Yeah.
on. So you could believe that everything is in focus here.
And I love those reliefs. Those look fantastic.
Yeah, that's a really nice.
They're adding some interesting touches and extra elements that I feel like, they really make the environment look a lot richer. And they're what I remember about older games.
And these probably aren't very high poly, but because they're in the distance, like you can't really tell.
Are they? Hang on a sec.
What's
Can
up?
you go to your? Can you do anything on your other screen or not without?
Yes, I can.
You
What's up?
can?
Yes.
I'm so curious if you looked up. Well, wait, no, I guess I'm just seeing it now. Like this guy in the blue vest is the same guy.
Oh, they,
in the...
oh, they only have a couple character models.
And I'm wondering if he's Frank Hardy.
I think these two are.
Can you look up Frank Hardy from Midnight in Salem? Oh no,
No,
he
it's
was in a
different.
vest, but he not.
His hair
different.
is pretty.
Yeah. Okay.
I think his hair is pretty different too. Although it could be that they're like using
I don't know.
his model in the distance.
I don't want to be terribly nitpicky. it looks better. It looks better. It looks better than Salem. This looks better. This screenshot.
What's this?
Suspects. You will reach out to them and find
Do they have? Who is this?
What's this?
suspects. You will
That looks like a famous director, doesn't it? Does it look like Scorsese? Who does it look like? I swear to God, it's yeah, I think it looks like Scorsese. I think it's Scorsese with some fun
This
glasses.
looks good. This looks good to me.
I think this is the best character model so far.
Yeah, I think he looks good.
Yeah.
Is this our hand? Do we get to see our own hand?
That's
An
actually
interesting because we never get to see Nancy's body. Well, no, we do sometimes,
She got a
but
big ring on her.
usually not. Yeah, usually not.
And also, like
from this perspective.
the
Yeah.
the trimmer on the ceiling here, like there's
It's
some good environmental design
It's
here.
nice.
reach out to them and find out who stole the gems.
Also, the hot dude looks a lot better.
Which one?
He looks
The
better
lighting is better here.
there. His hair looks much better than in the other. So maybe it is just going to be some screens are rougher than others.
Huh.
I like the guy in the background. It's just like he's so attractive.
He's wait. Oh wait. How many fingers does this guy have?
Wait a sec. 5.
Okay, that's supposed to be his thumb. Something about this doesn't look right. This doesn't look like a. What happened to this?
I noticed that hands are a little bit weird. Like her hand
wait.
also.
Oh yeah, wait.
When she passes you stuff, looks a little bit funky.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The fingers are not.
Fingers are a little
The fingers
funky.
are not going well.
And we see our vest guy again. He's back there
There
again.
it is. Oh, I think that is. I think that is Frank Hardy's model.
Yeah, because he's got the hood and everything.
And I think they just turn him away. I think they're just using Frank Hardy's model and they're turning his back to. Huh.
What's this?
Probably just using that to like save.
Who's
save some
this
time.
guy? Hang on, I just want to pause on his face.
What's this?
What's his deal?
Sure.
Something tower. He just looks evil. There's a security camera behind him. Walls look nice. It's that building that we were looking at before.
Oh yeah.
Okay, anyway, continue.
Suspects. You will reach out to them and find out who stole the gems.
That's a lot of suspects in this one too.
Yes, yep.
Do you think
This
it's
looks
gonna
good.
be 7 because of the 7 keys?
I don't know.
Is this place?
They each have a key.
Card and footprints.
Wait, those footprints were straight up floating.
A card and footprints.
Didn't that look weird? I know. I don't want to be too
I can't tell if
nitpicky.
It's just yeah. I don't know.
Anyway, these look good. These look nice.
Okay, so this is that fog that looked bad before.
Yeah, looks-
It's because they
this.
want it to look good at this angle. But then when you're above it, it's like very odd. It's like who's like using dry ice in this museum? Like
But this looks nice.
it looks better there. Yeah.
First time I saw it.
The jewels belong to the people.
What's her accent?
The necklace, it is the same as the first time I saw
I don't feel like there's
Her-
consistency
her-
in the
her
accent.
accent's not working very well.
Forgeries in Prague.
Not the usual tourist question.
I like his.
Usual tour.
Not the usual tourist question.
I'm gonna snoop. I'd better be quick. This mark. It could be part of an ancient riddle.
Alchemists were very clever.
He still just looks bad in every
Yeah.
game.
It's a good thing I have a bobby pin on me.
I do wonder if they're like how much they're gonna lean into horror on this one.
In our streets,
Lean
there
into
are
spooks.
secrets to unlock. Lurking in
I think with a lot of these environments, it really is just like when you get close, it kind of falls apart a little, just because they are fairly low poly.
Yeah, I was just gonna say like some of the like here, you know, we lost a lot of texture. Those windows look very
Yeah, it looks better at a
just
distance.
cookie cutter.
lurking
This does not look good at all.
in every corner.
Whoa.
I wonder if I'm looking in the wrong place.
Oof, 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 oof.
Nancy.
That's not a good read.
No,
I wonder if I'm looking in the wrong place.
it's just weird. It's just a weird.
Traditions are not changed easily. Trust no one.
I have my work cut out.
I think a number of these are supposed to be Prague accents.
Careful on the internet these days.
She's obviously not supposed to be.
Closer.
She don't think she's supposed to be Prague.
No, she's supposed to be British.
You've British
Work cut out.
You can never be too careful on the internet these days.
days. I know she does sound. She's got a little bit of Brit.
This is interesting.
suspects, clues.
Clues, achievements. That seems like an interesting way to like organize the information. That actually might be a good upgrade over.
I like the photos that they have of people too. Like this, just the
These
sketches.
these photos look better. This is a better photo of her than her character.
Oh
model.
God, yeah.
Yeah.
You can never be too careful on the internet these days.
Getting closer.
It is the puppet of death.
Is this the puppet of death?
That looks really scary.
Puppet of death.
What is that?
The stuff that it definitely looks like they're trying to do like a mummified corpse thing, like
I think she's our blue apartment place. I think she's our blue girl because she's got this awful wall behind her.
Yeah.
Monsters in Prague.
That animation looked pretty good though.
Always look at.
It does seem like they're still planning to make this like pretty spooky.
It does look pretty spooky.
Which again, it just makes it really odd that like they're directing Nancy to sound so Dora the Explorer, you know.
In the past.
I really like the music, and even her
music
delivery
is
on the "Something's Follow Me." That was great.
Yeah, that's a good delivery.
It was like something's following me.
Sometimes the past should remain in the past, which is a thing that like literally you said they should use instead.
See, and here's my, and maybe people won't have the same complaint. Maybe people will like the ambiguity, but how are we on time? We've been here for a while.
We're good.
It starts off with saying some mysteries are so steeped in history that they should be
preserved for
all eternity, whatever. And then it says, but technology is threatening that.
There are those who will use the technology of the present to manipulate the powers of the past for their own dark desires.
God damn.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. So then it turns into jewelry theft.
Yeah.
Then it turns into mummified corpses, and there seems to be some sort of entity that people are afraid of seeing, like something's maybe been unlocked, but also jewelry's being stolen. I don't know if they were going for like, hey, here's what the plot is. But, you know, in previous games, if you watched the trailer, you knew what was going to happen. You knew exactly what the kind of the gist was, the type of game.
I think they're trying to keep mystique around it.
Just a lot of it could be anything.
My assumption is it feels to me like they're going to lean into like some supernatural stuff with this one. Mm-hmm. Is what it seems like to me. Mm-hmm. With the ghosts and the moving armor and stuff and like the powers of the past. I think they're going to lean into like, what did she say, like the puppet of death or something? I think they're going to lean into like some sort of folklore or something. Some kind of supernatural stuff and say like, oh, that's what the jewelry's being used for, or this is being used as a cover for the jewel thefts or something.
All right.
I'm still like, I hope they're not leaning it. It seems like they're trying to do some real spooky stuff again.
Yeah, we're going to be probably jump scared again.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be playing though more maybe, so it'll be less frightening for you. I do think in general, I think overall environment looks better. Mm-hmm. I thought music looked good. I'm real iffy on the voice acting just overall because it seems like some accents are all over the place, and then Nancy's delivery is always been a bit weird.
I feel like the voice acting's always been kind of hit or miss.
Yeah, I thought it was good. I liked it. I didn't have an issue. I had an issue with the lines that people were saying. I thought the dialogue sucked, but I thought that in general the voice actors were doing a really good job. And and like, to be super clear, I don't want to shit on the voice actress who's playing Nancy. I don't think it's to do with her. It feels like some sort of weird directorial.
She's being asked to like hit things a certain way.
Yeah, because I just can't. I don't know. I don't think that it's her based on other stuff that we've heard her do, which just kind of sucks. That someone might be directing her that way, but it's just, I don't know. The voice acting seems a little iffy. Character models also just seem iffy, although perhaps generally overall better. It seems like at certain angles they're kind of falling short, and then in other angles they're looking significantly better than Salem.
I'm wondering if some of the footage was captured in earlier builds or something. And I guess ultimately at the end of the day, too, like, I think the stuff that is going to matter the most to whether the game is good or not is stuff that we're just not going to get from a trailer.
Yeah.
Which is like, you know, like the design and the mystery and the narrative. Like, we're getting some sense of some lines here, we're not really going to be able to see how good the writing is until we're in the game.
True.
And then like the puzzles and like how well the mystery is constructed, a lot of that is just stuff that we're not going to get to see from the trailer.
I will say overall, the little bit of dialogue that we heard did sound more adult and I don't know, intelligent than a lot of the just dumb dialogue in Salem. A lot of the just kind of like silliness, or even Salem wasn't even the biggest offender. Like some of the like what is it, Shattered Medallion. Like they can really, really go off the rails with their dialogue sometimes, and this feels like it's more grounded in something smart and real. So I'm hopeful that that's going to be the case.
I think that's where the series needs to move, right? Because I think most of the people playing these games at this point,
they're not kids.
They're not children. Yeah. I think there are probably some adults who play it with their kids. Yeah. Like still, but I think a bulk of it is going to be people who grew up with these games and who are older now, and it's something that we saw too with when the move to Unity made it so a lot of people just didn't have computers that could play the games anymore. I think the reality is like a large portion of the fan base is adults, but also just people who are like, these are like the only games they really play. You know, like they're not out here like, you know, they're not keeping up with Helldivers on their gaming PCs, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
it'll be interesting to see if they have troubleshooted and allowed people with, you know, less powerful devices to play this, or if this is still going to be, because it looks like it would take more to run this than Midnight in Salem. This looks heavier duty.
Which is curious because Salem should be playable on rigs that are like a decade old. Like looking at how it looks, like it doesn't look like it should be that demanding. If it's poorly optimized, which is really like what it gets into with, especially when you're getting into Unity, is like it's not just like how good you make it look. You can make something that looks incredible that is easier to run than something that looks like much simpler. And a lot of it just comes down to optimization and make it like it's possible that Salem was just demanding a lot of resources that it really shouldn't have been demanding for the game.
Can we take a look at Salem's trailer? Is it possible to just do a comparison? I think the other thing to keep in mind here too is it's been 4 years. So how did this age compare to the trailer for Salem? Whoa!
Oh man! All right, I was just watching this read.
Mild violence, same rating.
I'm just curious. I wouldn't consider
that looked good.
I think this looks
better.
Well, because you've got
depth.
Yeah, you've got depth of field here. Like, and I feel like that's what was missing in a lot of the shots of Prague. Is like this is like very blurry in the background, and this is blurry up here, and you're focusing on like what should be the center of the frame. So like just from that like standpoint, like that art direction is like really nice, and the fog on the ground here is like
the fog looks a lot better.
It's really curious.
There's also movement. If you go back and watch the trees, stuff's moving.
Yeah.
A town this old is bound to have some.
This is a well-directed shot too. Like
So is all of this is actually
the fire's not done great, but like it's actually those shots were.
What can you tell me?
Oh God.
So one thing I think we need to.
Oh God.
I forgot how bad this game looked.
And this looks pretty rough.
This looks terrible. This looks like shit. But I.
Oh God, I'm having flashbacks. I wish we'd recorded this. I wish we'd recorded that Salem playthrough.
We'll do the second one. But one thing I forgot is how jumpy the character models were. Like even Deirdre in the car right now.
Right, and I remember what happened with this too. And there seemed like less. Although we haven't seen these characters again. Oh God, what is happening with her
arm? They cannot do arms still. Arms are still very hard apparently.
It did seem like the characters. The characters in Salem, from what I remember, like had like 3-second animation cycles when they were talking and stuff, and so they keep doing like behaviors that were just like very odd, and they were very manic.
Yeah, very manic.
Yeah.
It's called the
Hathorn. Also lip syncing was not good in Salem.
And this shot looks really rough compared to the ones earlier. So I'm just wondering. I don't know.
Keep going.
My cousin May was suspected of committing arson on the most important.
That character model actually looks pretty decent comparatively.
This looks fine.
Can I ask some questions?
Her walk cycle's not great.
No.
This looks pretty flat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The grass.
Look, I appreciate you
that.
help, but I don't want you dragging
This
all that
was
up
where
on
it really.
me.
I mean, this house. This house was really bad.
Just want a front seat to the freak show.
Yeah.
What is happening to this town?
Oh my god. This isn't what she looked like in the final game, was it?
Yes, it was.
Didn't she have like a red sweater or something?
No, just a white
man.
shirt.
Yeah, that's pretty rough. I don't think I watched this trailer before we played the game.
Oh,
And missing
yeah.
something. You can't find proof
You just kind of dropped me into the game.
present at the house the night it burned. Maybe the culprit wasn't among the living.
Do you hear it? I hear it. Who is it? Who's there?
Do you believe in ghosts?
That's a good jump cut.
This is how I remember my ancestors.
I think Lauren's got one of the better character models in the game.
I'm saying it's safe.
Tears is pretty rough.
It's about
Yeah.
time you head back to.
Oh god.
all witches. I'm saying it's Salem.
I think it's
Oh,
about time
Jason.
and you head.
Are you trying to see who's in the car?
I kind of want to see who's in that car.
They're all witches. I'm saying
Okay, we gotta wait.
Salem.
It's gonna be a
You
couple.
got it. Go. Oh. Aw, it's
Oh
a
my
guy?
god!
Is it a
It looks like a
guy?
guy, yeah. That puzzle was.
All three of us saw something.
Whatever or whoever it is,
I don't think that shot is in the game.
I don't think so either.
time's up. We have to go to the Hathorn house.
Tonight.
If we go down there, it's going to be all of us.
I don't remember that
There's
either.
a couple of shots that I don't think were in the actual game.
I would say I think that this other trailer looks better.
It's interesting because like there's a couple shots in here that like I think these opening shots are better than any of the shots
Yeah.
in that. But then you get into
The
stuff
bulk
like this,
of
and
it.
it's like,
The bulk of it looks really bad.
and again, like I don't think these are shots that are actually in the game.
I guess another thing I just want to point out is it is better. I think it is better. I think we could say character models generally look better.
Yeah.
Environment generally looks better. 4 years worth of better? I don't think so.
Yeah, and I guess it's the. I guess
It
it's- I
looks
guess
like
it's the main
like a
thing.
6 month. I mean, I'm not a graphics person or gamer designer at all, but it when you think about the jump in design that they were making in the early games,
Yeah,
how quickly things improved.
that's another thing I've been really impressed with is as we're playing these earlier games.
They get better fast.
They're
and
6
they
months
were
apart,
6
yeah.
months, 6 months to a year apart, and this has been 4 years.
What it feels like, it feels like kind of a development hell thing. It feels like it's just hard for them to make progress and probably like work full time on it.
Will you watch a little bit of Sea of Darkness now? Mild Blood?
Violent references, alcohol reference, her interactive jingle. Yeah, can we talk about her interactive jingle? I'm sorry. So this was 8 years ago.
Yeah. Oh wait, over, right? Was it... Oh no, I guess 2018.
If it was 4 years to make Salem and then 4 years to make this,
Yeah, I guess.
was this 2018?
I don't know.
Man.
What's the date on it? 9 years ago.
April 15th, 2015 is when this trailer came out.
2015. Okay.
Oh.
Find my missing.
Oh, that looks a lot better.
I mean,
That looks a lot better.
Leaving backstabbing business partner Magnus. He disappeared sometime before our ship crashed into the harbor.
It shows emotion way better.
look at the environment. I mean,
And they were making these every couple. Like they're making like multiple of these a year. The character motion looks a lot better. It just is more polished.
it's way better.
I feel like they just don't have the team size to work in Unity to the same level that they could work in this other system. I guess that's the thing is I just don't know why they changed engines.
I don't either. Cause it just is just like
Find a treasure, I'll find Magnus.
Yes.
everything about
This
this.
just looks
is-
better. The lighting
look
is
at
way
their
better.
Fur on her collar.
The
like,
lighting is better. The weather effect there is very good. The lighting here is extremely good.
Everyone looks better. Look at the Aurora Borealis. Like arms look good. Fabric looks good.
Connection to the ship.
She is a beautiful ship. Truly.
Acting was very good too. Voice acting was great.
Yes, so far the delivery and everything is. And the thing is, like, these character models are more expressive. They're showing more subtlety and emotion in their face.
Look at the lighting on his face, like
the lighting on her right here is extremely good.
Yeah.
Like. His movement there is like much more natural than anything in Salem.
Yeah. I know, I'm hoping they can get back to that on Unity, but again, like, this is the progress we're seeing. Midnight in Salem was after 4 years of developing it in Unity.
Officially releases May 19th. Yeah, this is coming out May 7th. So this is going to be like, this is coming out
9 years.
Nearly 9 years after
Yeah.
Sea of Darkness.
And I don't know, we're gonna have to see how it looks in real life. I am also just concerned. I'm doubtful. I'm doubtful because I think that the trailer for Midnight in Salem was better visually than the game. You know?
Well, the stuff that they're showing in game, it's like, oh, that gets really rough. It was those opening shots. I'm like, that...
The opening shots look good, and the stuff in game got rough. And I'm concerned that we're going to see the same thing. But I don't want to be a Debbie Downer. But
and really, again, like when it comes to like the gameplay and the actual writing itself, that's something we're just going to see when we get in the game.
Yeah. And maybe they're going to really improve on the certain aspects, like the puzzles. I hope they improve the puzzles. Because Salem barely had any. It would be hard to not improve on the puzzles.
Diablo 2. Diablo, but it's lo-fi beats. Incredible. Yeah.
But I don't know. Overall, it looks like, I don't know, my general thought is it looks better than Salem. I'm shocked at how happy people are with it after waiting 4 years. I think a lot of people just want a new game.
We were talking about it too. I think a lot of people are comparing it. Salem was being compared to the series up to that point. Yeah. It was a big departure from the way that they had made games. You know, it was coming on the heels. Like the game before it was Sea of Darkness.
Yeah. So it was disappointment, especially after 4 years of waiting.
Seven Keys is being compared to Midnight in Salem.
Yeah.
You know?
And it looks like it's a slight improvement, but I still feel like people are kind of forgetting it's been 4 years.
For them to be releasing games, it's taken them 8 times as long to release a game, basically.
Yeah.
And
I'd love to be wrong though. I'd love for the trailer to have been kind of rougher and for the game to look more polished. I'm hoping we get a good mystery. Maybe the accents will make sense when we know the characters' backstories.
The thing that's really rough and that I'm worried about is the graphics are your first impression, right? So even if they genuinely did make an extremely good game here, I think bringing in new people is going to be extremely difficult
with that trailer,
with the way it looks. For a game to look like that in 2024, with the other things on the market, if the change to Unity was to try and bring in like new customers, they're not doing Unity well. And I think leaning into what they were doing really well in a unique system where that like looked very different than anything else on the market, I think that is a better play than trying to make things that look like. There's a lot of games that use Unity that are more polished than this. I think they just don't have the team size or the expertise or something to work in Unity when they were doing stuff great, like in even like Final Scene and Scarlet Hand, like they're already using that system really well.
I mean, Scarlet Hand looks better than either Salem or Seven Keys, in my opinion.
And that was their 6th game.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's rough. I feel like the change must have been to try and modernize the series, but there's no reason for that. There are other ways to reach a new audience. I don't think your audience generally cares what engine the game is on. Most gamers aren't gonna know what engine it's on.
Yeah.
Like it's tough. It just feels like a misread
on what people want.
Yeah, on just what matters. Yeah. Like there are ways to modernize and update the series. If what they need to stay afloat is to bring in more gamers, like taking 8 times as long to release a game on a different engine that looks worse is not going to do it.
Yeah.
Like the gamers aren't going like, I just really want to play something that uses Unity. You know, like it's not how they think.
I don't know. I agree. I mean, we're just gonna have to see, right? We're just gonna have to see.
Yeah.
Do other things like the story and the puzzles and the characters, do they compensate for what looks like it's going to be still a game with not great graphics? And I do wish the trailer had been more specific about what the mystery is, 'cause I just feel like anyone who's a hardcore Nancy Drew game fan is going to play this no matter what.
Yes.
In the spirit of trying to draw in people and, lure them with a mystery or a story, I don't think that trailer accomplishes that.
No.
I think it accomplishes being very kind of mysterious, but I don't think it accomplishes, new people perhaps walking away thinking, God, I can't get that storyline out of my head. That thing that was posed to me, that mystery that came up, like, I'm just still thinking about that hours later. I can't even parse out what the main idea of the entire trailer was.
Yeah.
I don't have anything that I feel like I can latch onto other than just the fact that it's a new Nancy Drew game, and I am a diehard fan, so I will play it. I will put money into it, and I will continue to do that every single time her Interactive comes out with a game. I will play it. But if they're trying to draw new people, I don't think that trailer was a very good hook, because it's just a lot of just random shots kind of strung together with some ominous words layered over it. Yeah.
The other thing too is they're competing with a lot of other games that are in this style that are mystery games. The direction that those are going, because when you're making a mystery game or a puzzle game, like, you are dealing with a smaller audience. You're dealing with a niche of the gamer base. It's just how it is. What a lot of them have been doing to compensate for that is, instead of going for realistic graphics, instead of going for things that are going to take a lot of time to make, they go with stylized graphics.
Yeah.
When you see things like The Witness, when you see things like Pentiment is incredibly stylized, and the trailer, you see that, and it's just the look of it is incredibly appealing.
Obra Dinn, right?
Obra Dinn, stuff like that. Obra Dinn is incredibly that's an incredibly low res.
Yeah. And that's the point, is that it's hard to see stuff, and people don't move on Obra Dinn. I mean, right? It's all kind of, you hear stuff, and then it just goes to a freeze frame of things, and you're not even seeing people animated for the most part.
Yeah. The thing that's really unfortunate is what they were doing with keeping the older style point and click thing alive is that's what was making Nancy Drew stand out.
Yeah.
If anything was going to pull a new person in or look interesting to them, it's that.
Yeah.
When they're doing a Unity game, it's okay, you are stepping into trying to do a style of you're stepping into trying to do a style of graphic and an aesthetic that hundreds of other games are doing better.
Do you know any games off the top of your head that use Unity?
A ton, yes. Unity is one of the most commonly used engines.
So if we saw a trailer of a game that does it well.
So if you're talking about games that use Unity. Granted, this is Ubisoft. So, so this is a big budget studio. But that's the thing, is you're competing with.
And this is meant to be stylized still.
This is very stylized. This is a puzzle game that I have heard incredible things about.
So I think I was saying kind of well, it seems like stylized really, Unity really serves that kind of style versus the hyper realistic.
Yeah, Unreal Engine is generally what people go to for hyper realistic. But Unity can still do realistic very well.
I guess what I'm seeing is a lot of the same kind of textures and things that we see in Midnight in Salem that look kind of empty, but when the game is hyper stylized, it looks like it works a lot better. It's something that just I didn't really appreciate it until seeing the comparisons of other things on Unity. I feel like I can see the Unity, some of it in the trailers for Salem and Seven Keys, but I think that those games, and maybe it's also too I'm an older fan, I've been a fan of the franchise for probably around 20 years now, is when I first started playing, and what I expect from Nancy Drew based on Sea of Darkness and all that is I expect more realistic graphics.
I think the biggest thing is just for what they're trying to do, it just takes so much more work in Unity to try to make those scenes full and to do a level of detail compared to what they were able to do with what they were doing before.
Yeah, I agree. It feels like it's still a big step back, and especially after 4 years from the last game that took 4 years, it's the trailer doesn't give me a ton of confidence, but we might be really surprised when we actually play the real thing, which we're going to do very soon.
Yes. I'm excited to play it. We got to find
time.
We got to find the time. I'm really curious to see, because there were things about Midnight in Salem that I actually enjoyed a good amount. There were some of the puzzles that I liked a lot.
All
okay.
right. We did it. We did the video.
We did it. All right.
So
Okay.
we'll see you guys possibly in Prague.
Yes.
Or if not Prague, look at our other videos.
Yeah.
Our other...
Yeah, I think we're going to put like the stuff we've already recorded on hold a little bit just to kind of edit and put up the 7 Keys stuff like while it's new.
To focus on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we can bring in a ton of new subscribers.
Yeah.
So Her Interactive will sponsor us so we can start making bank.
Yeah. That's how I'm paying for my retirement.
Her Interactive sponsorship.
That's how I'm buying my house.
Just any sponsorship in general on the YouTube channel. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the plan.
I believe it. I believe it.
Oh god, the cops are coming. We gotta go.
Ah, they found us.